Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In today's episode, we're taking a nostalgic journey back to the 1980s, a time of bold fashion, changing technology, and, for Australian coin collectors, the twilight years of some of the nation's most beloved small-denomination coins. Today, we'll be exploring the 1984 Australian 2-cent coin, a small but iconic piece of Australian currency that holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary copper coin, simple, round, and familiar, but beneath that reddish-brown surface lies a rich story of design, craftsmanship, and transition. So let's dive deep into the history, design, and legacy of the 1984 2-cent coin, and discover why this humble little piece of metal continues to be a charming collectible, even decades after it left our pockets. The history and background. To understand the 1984 2-cent coin, we have to go back to 1966, when Australia officially changed its currency system from pounds, shillings, and pence to dollars and cents. That year, the 1-cent and 2-cent coins were introduced as part of the new decimal series, designed to make everyday transactions simpler and more modern. For nearly 25 years, the 2-cent coin was a common sight in every purse and wallet, used to buy small treats, candies, and newspapers. However, by the early 1980s, inflation had begun to reduce the purchasing power of these low-value coins. By 1984, while the coin was still being produced, its practical use was already fading. Just 5 years later, in 1989, the Australian government decided to withdraw both the 1 and 2-cent coins from circulation, marking the end of an era. That makes the 1984 issue one of the final few years these coins were minted for everyday use, a piece of history from the coin's sunset years. The design, obverse side. Let's take a closer look at the design, starting with the obverse side, or the front of the coin. Here, we see the graceful portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing to the right. This particular effigy was created by the talented British sculptor Arnold McKin, whose portrait of the Queen appeared on Australian coins from 1966 until 1984. In this image, the Queen is shown wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her favorite pieces of jewelry. The engraving beautifully captures her calm expression, the gentle lines of her face, and the elegance of the tiara's intricate details. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II on the left and Australia 1984 on the right. This simple but balanced layout is both regal and timeless, a reminder of Australia's connection to the Commonwealth and its place in a global tradition of monarchy and modern identity. Interestingly, 1984 marked the final year this particular portrait was used on Australian coins before it was replaced by a new effigy the following year, designed by Raphael Maklauf. So, in a way, the 1984 2-cent coin represents the end of two chapters, the last era of the small bronze coins, and the final appearance of the McKin portrait on circulating currency. The reverse design. The frilled neck lizard. Now, let's flip the coin over to admire its reverse design, which is perhaps one of the most beloved and distinctive in Australian coinage. Designed by the renowned artist and goldsmith Stuart Devlin, the reverse of the 2-cent coin features the frilled neck lizard, a creature native to Australia's northern regions. With its dramatic, fan-like frill extended in a defensive posture, the lizard seems to come alive on the surface of the coin. Devlin's intricate design captures both the beauty and the personality of this unique reptile, an animal that's unmistakably Australian. The number 2 is large and bold, positioned beside the lizard, blending perfectly with the curves of its tail and the folds of its frill. The detail in this design is remarkable. You can see the textures of the scales, the grace of the curves, and the energy of movement, all frozen in metal. It's not just a picture, it's a piece of storytelling, a celebration of Australia's wildlife and identity. Specifications and metal composition. The 1984 Australian 2-cent coin is made of bronze, composed of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. This gives it that rich reddish-brown color that darkens beautifully over time, developing a natural patina. It weighs 3.24 grams, has a diameter of 21.59 millimeters, and a plain edge, smooth to the touch and easy to recognize by feel. The coin's warm metallic tone and small size make it one of the most charming pieces of the Australian decimal series. Because of its copper content, many of these coins developed natural variations in tone over the years, ranging from bright orange copper to deep brown or even dark chocolate hues, giving each coin a slightly unique character. Mintage and rarity. In 1984, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra produced approximately 76.7 million 2-cent coins. This makes it a common issue in terms of circulation, not a rare date, but certainly an important one for collectors who want to complete their sets. Because these coins were used heavily in everyday life, finding one in truly uncirculated condition today can be more challenging than it might seem. Most 1984 2-cent coins show signs of wear, scratches, faded details, and dull surfaces from years of handling. But coins that were saved early, kept in mint rolls or sets, often retain their original luster and can look stunning under proper light. In circulated condition, these coins are generally worth around 5 to 10 cents, but in uncirculated or mint condition, they can sell for $1 to $3 Australian dollars depending on quality. Proof versions, which were struck for collectors with mirror-like finishes, can fetch around $10 to $15 Australian dollars or more. Cultural and historical significance. The 2-cent coin may have been small, but it carried enormous cultural significance. For generations of Australians, it was a part of everyday life, jingling in pockets, handed over at corner shops, or dropped into piggy banks. Its design, featuring the frilled neck lizard, reminded people of Australia's wild landscapes and unique creatures, helping to create a sense of national pride in everyday transactions. When the 1 and 2 cent coins were withdrawn from circulation in 1992, they didn't disappear overnight. Many people kept them as keepsakes, small reminders of childhood, of the simpler days of pocket money and school lunches. Today, those who grew up with these coins often smile when they see one again, because it's more than a coin, it's a symbol of memory and nostalgia. Collector insight and legacy. For collectors, the 1984 2-cent coin holds a special spot in the Australian decimal coin series. It represents the final era of bronze coinage and the last appearance of Arnold Mackin's Queen portrait. Even though it's not rare, it's a must-have for anyone who wants to complete a full set of Australian 2-cent coins from 1966 to 1989. And finding high-grade examples with full mint luster or proof-like surfaces is becoming increasingly rewarding as time passes and fewer pristine examples remain in collections. Some collectors also enjoy searching for varieties, slight differences in die alignment, strikes, or planchet tones, which add personality and uniqueness to each coin. Final thoughts. So, what makes the 1984 Australian 2-cent coin truly special?